am.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm so happy right now. This episode was so good. I had a feeling deep down in my soul that this video game adaptation would be a little different. I was also hoping that just because it's my favorite game of all time. But man, I think we're getting that. I think we're getting the best video game adaptation of all time, honestly. And I'm so happy it's for my favorite game. I keep trying to tell myself, this is only one episode. There's a lot of show left. But man, the hype train is just, it's left the station. It's going crazy right now. First off, I just want to say I'm not going to talk any spoilers in this video. I'm doing a video just reviewing this first episode, and then once the season ends, I'm going to do a review of the entire show. In that video, I'm probably going to talk about spoilers just so I can give my full-on thoughts and opinions. But for right now, this is a safe space. I'm not going to ruin anything because I want people to go and check this show out. This was a pretty beefy first episode. I mean, it's like an hour and a half long, and it's pretty fast-paced for the most part. The story moves along at a pretty quick pace. This first episode is basically the first like 3 hours maybe of the game, just kind of condensed a little bit. They do spend a lot of time on like the intro, like the very beginning of the game. They really flesh that part out because in the game it's really a pretty quick section. It's just, it hits you very hard, but in this they really took their time to kind of let it build a little bit. And then once we get to a certain climactic point in the story, it kind of just goes from there and it's just kind of off to the races. And so far, I think how they've kind of reworked the story for TV is just working very well. The little slight changes they made make sense for the TV show. Obviously, a TV show is much different than a video game, and the storytelling is very different between the two different mediums. But I think the slight changes to the overall narrative help enhance the story just as a show. You're not in the game playing it like in combat sections and just like slow story sections. It's a TV show, so they have to find ways basically get around the gameplay sections but make the story still make sense. And I think they've done a great job of that so far. I mean, the main thing that everybody wants to know about Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, are they good as Joel and Ellie? And again, it's only one episode, but so far, yeah, they're amazing, especially Bella Ramsey. She really blew me away in this episode. She just really felt like Ellie. Like, it just felt right. Her attitude, the way she just kind of says things and acts just really felt like Ellie. I think she did a really great job so far in this first episode. And then kind of like the game, Joel is a more subtle character than Ellie. Ellie's obviously the kind of, jokey, upbeat kid, and Joel's kind of just a beaten and battered older man that's just kind of doing his job. I think the whole opening of this episode really set a nice foundation for Joel as a character. So then when the stuff happens, you kind of see how certain things have changed in his life and just how he's changed as a person. I think Pedro's doing a really good job of just showing the different layers and depth to Joel. I mean, really all the acting so far has just been great in general. Another massive standout for me was Gabriel Luna as Tommy. I think he was phenomenal. He sounds almost exactly like Jeffrey Pierce. When Tommy walked into the scene, I was kind of shocked by how much he sounded like Tommy from the games, and it kind of just blew me away. So I'm kind of in love with what Gabriel Luna is doing as Tommy right now. I can't wait to see more of him. Aside from the characters of The Last of Us, another massive part of what makes the game so great in my opinion is the world that they built, and the characters that are in that world, how it feels and how it looks aesthetically. And again, they nailed it. It looked almost exactly like the video game. Whether it's Joel's bedroom or it's the Boston QZ, it looks like it's just ripped straight out of the video game in the best way possible. And just the tone and the overall feel of the show just feels like The Last of Us. It just feels right. And one of the most important things that just enhances that feeling is Gustavo Santaolalla. Hope I said his name right. Coming back and doing the music again, it's phenomenal. Every time there's a little like needle drop from one of the classic songs from the games, kind of gave me chills. I mean, that opening sequence, I'm not gonna lie, the opening sequence got me. It was just awesome. It was so cool to hear the music from the games brought into the show. I think the show is gonna really do a good job at making fans of the game happy, while also bringing in new fans that have never played the games and just don't play video games in general, and getting them interested in the story and interested in the characters. I mean, really, it's one of the built-in benefits of adapting The Last of Us is like the opening hour of The Last of Us is maybe the most memorable opening to a video game ever. At least it is in my opinion. I've never played a more memorable opening to a video game in my life. So naturally, this pilot episode should be pretty gripping, and it should hook a lot of people into the show. I think the first episode also ends on a really good note that kind of just leaves you curious to what's going to happen next and just wanting more. I mean, I'm sitting here in my Last of Us shirt, my Last of Us hat, my fucking Last of Us tattoo, and I'm just so satisfied and so excited to see what's coming next. I can't express how happy I am right now that this lived up to the hype that I had. I feel like this is going to be something truly special. I feel like this show might finally be the one to crack the code and finally just nail a video game adaptation. I think a lot of that has to do with how involved Neil Druckmann was in the making of this show. For those of you that don't know, Neil Druckmann was the writer and director of The Last of Us Part I and II. But having him play a very pivotal role in the show, I kind of think that's what's separating this adaptation from all the other ones. You have the actual creator of the games working on the show instead of people that have never played the game ever in their life, don't give a shit about the source material, don't care about the fans at all, and it always ends up being a disaster. But this one is going to be the one to be different. I mean, this really gave me everything I wanted. I mean, the show itself, you could tell it's very high quality. The budget is there. It looks great cinematography wise, and the little bits of like makeup and effects we saw look really good. The acting's phenomenal. The writing is great. Just it feels like The Last of Us. The music is amazing. It's just so far it checked every single box I had. I highly recommend this show to everybody, whether you've played the games, you haven't played the games, whatever. I think this is just something that's worth your time and that you should definitely check out. We'll check back in once the season is done, but for now, I'm a very happy fanboy. Can't wait to get the rest of the season, and I can't wait to talk about the rest of the season with you guys. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you for coming out and watching this video. I appreciate it. It was probably me just ranting the entire time about everything I loved. If you haven't already, just make sure to drop a like on this video. It helps me out a lot, and subscribe for more reviews, reactions, and a lot of streams coming very soon. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Endure and survive, everybody.